Yeah. But it is underlying the surface, and it is interfering with everything we do. How is that possible if it's not manifesting? Because we are very blind to our own faults. That's a general thing. We're quite blind to our own faults. We can see the faults of other people very easily. But that is the mercy of God, because God is showing us our faults through what we perceive to be the faults of other people. And it's worth bearing in mind that when John Paul II was around, people saw plenty of faults in him. When Mother Teresa was around, people saw plenty of faults in her. But what they're seeing is their own faults mirrored by John Paul II and Mother Teresa. So they're seeing tiny, tiny issues with these people, but really within them, there's a whole truckload of problems. And the more you see your faults in other people, the weaker is your self-knowledge. The less you see faults in the people around you, the stronger your self-knowledge, because you're more aware of your own failings than you are of the failings of others. Is that making sense? Okay, come on then, fella, you're shaking your head. You've done it now. You are on camera shaking your head. You're in trouble. There's no getting out of that one.
It's a bit confusing.
How so?
I don't know. It didn't quite register there.
Okay, well, if you go back to what I was saying about the soul we see, we don't really see the power of the soul or the beauty of the soul except for in the way we live our lives and the manifestation of love. So how do I know that I am, for example, just as an example, how do I know that I am highly manipulative? How do I know it? Because I spend my day picking up on other people's manipulative behavior. So I'm seeing my fault revealed in the people around me. And this is in Matthew's Gospel. So this is what Jesus says about it. Okay. This is Matthew. Chapter 7. Why do you see the speck in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Okay. So what I might be doing is use the same example again. I might be at work and I might see somebody behaving in a certain way and just thinking, gosh, they are so manipulative. Now, they might not think they're being manipulative. They might not know it. They might just think that they're just behaving as they would normally do. But because I have this log of manipulation within my soul, I am seeing that log in the behavior of another person. Yeah? Now, if we go to the extreme on this one, the other extreme, the place of peace, okay, where I've got a really good self-knowledge, I can see all of my own faults, I can see I'm manipulative, egotistical, I can see I'm proud and everything else, I can see that in me, I won't notice it so much in other people. Because I know that that's my issue, it's my problem. It's not theirs, it's my problem. And Jesus says, take the log out of your own eye first, before you start to address the speck in your brother's eye. So even if I see someone doing manipulative behavior, my first thought is going to be like, actually, that's my problem. I need to deal with that in me before I start accusing somebody else of that manipulative behavior. And this is why when Jesus came, he said, the Son of Man came not to condemn. Because there's no point. First of all, there is no condemnation in Christ Jesus. He's not here to condemn us. He's here to save us. But second, we condemn ourselves by our own behaviors. Yeah? So I hope that makes a little bit more sense. Hold on, here we go.
Thank you.
Gerard's on the case. Hold on. He's very quick on the ball, is Gerard. Thank you, Gerard. This is Gerard's question. Does that mean every fault we see, we ourselves have? You mentioned Stalin and Hitler earlier. I could see plenty of faults in them, but how does that reflect on me? How are we going to see other people's faults when we reach holiness? Okay, brilliant question, Gerard. You are a good questioner. I do like your questions. So, let me see if I can find something in Sister Leslie Lund, because she strongly emphasizes this need for self-knowledge. Oh, and before I do, let me throw this out there. Jordan Peterson is pretty sharp on this, and I was watching a video of his some time back in the summer, because in the summer I did a lot of work on my own self-knowledge, and it was a very exciting journey to make. And what Jordan Peterson says is he actually pulls up this very issue. He makes it clear that Stalin and Hitler, Napoleon and Pol Pot, etc., all these dictators were simply sinful human beings. They were no different to anybody else. And he made it clear that we should recognize that if one human being, one of the people around us, with this made in the image and likeness of God, if they can commit a certain crime, then that means that it's possible for us to commit that very same crime, because they're the same as us. They've got a body and a soul, a memory, intellect and will, the same as us. So it's no different. Now, this is the lesson of self-knowledge. One of the problems with self-knowledge is you're always talking about your shadow side. So it is hidden from you. And the only way you can see your shadow side is when you look at the behavior of other people that annoys you. The things you see in other people. And this is a great lesson from the monastery. Okay, in the monasteries, the monks would recognize that if they see things in their brothers or in a convent in their sisters which annoy them, it is merely God showing them an unresolved issue within themselves. So they can't point the finger. They can't criticize their brother and sister because they would be criticizing themselves. Now, we in the world haven't learnt this lesson yet. Well, some of us have. Ellie, are you going to stop me in mid-flow? Ellie's put her hand up. Hold on, just give me 1 minute. You see, what I'm doing here is I'm recording this on my mobile in 10-minute sound bites because I was having a big problem with recording 1 hour stretches. So I'm doing 10-minute sound bites so I can get it onto YouTube a lot quicker. So I'm just going to hit the sound bite.